Hello everybody, it's 𝗖𝗥𝗘𝗔𝗧𝗑 here with the last in a series of 3 shows where I give you 3 tips, 3 creativity or productivity tips, and I also tell you about this, the Infinite Creativity Now Masterclass, which has already started, but it starts officially tomorrow, the coming week. And we've been doing the warm-up activities, some of us have anyway, and if you want to join today, you would be very, very welcome. So I'm looking like this today. Hello, how are you doing? Say hello in the chat. This is the last of 3 shows. So I'll be giving you maybe a couple of little bonuses as well. In the last 2 shows, I gave you 3 tips in each show, and they were pretty high level conceptual tips about creativity. Some of the fundamental things that stop us from being as creative as we would love to be. And you know, me, your Sabin Paris creative breakthrough coach, for want of a better expression, that's my mission in life, is to help you be as creative as you would love to be. Because I think, it seems to me that when we lead creative lives, we're creating stuff on a regular basis. And I mean like artistic stuff, not stuff that really serves much of a purpose. But it does, but you know, not like necessarily, we can't eat art, for example. But when you create something for the sheer pleasure of creating it, it really does seem to make us happy. And then you can share it, and you're sharing something that you've taken time over, you've put your heart into, you share it with somebody else. It means a hell of a lot to them. You know, just compare giving a handmade card to somebody as opposed to one bought from the supermarket. We're talking about 2 different universes here, and I want to live in the universe where creativity, we're interacting with people through creativity, not just sort of shop built, oh, you know, it's Christmas, therefore we have to buy certain presents. It's Valentine's Day, therefore we have to buy ready-made Valentine's gifts. It's, you know, there's about 2 of these events. You know, there was Mother's Day, there was Father's Day, then there was Grandmother's Day and Granddad's Day. I'm sure there's Uncle's Day, blah, 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 Women's Day, Men Day. And we're just living in this sort of massive, having sort of consumerist ideals rammed down our throat just so that we can buy their stupid, not handmade products. And they're doing their best to make us think that if we don't do that, then we're bad people. Anyway, all you have to do is the tiniest little handmade card and give it to someone, and it means much more than that. So yeah, that's my kind of philosophy. Creativity kind of being equal to life and happiness. And why not? This is my life, so I can invent what I want, and it's your life, you can invent what you want. So that's my thing, creativity and getting people to be as creative as they can. And I'm going to give you 3 tips, maybe more, maybe a lot more. Let's see. I've got Gao. Hello, Gao, how are you doing? At least I call you live. Yeah, my goodness, it's been a long time, hasn't it? So, Gao, what is the most creative thing you've done in the last week? Tell me. And I've got 𝗖𝗥𝗘𝗔𝗧𝗑, my faithful 𝗖𝗥𝗘𝗔, who often comes in, and she doesn't actually, you know, understand English that well. Spanish perfect, French good, English not so good. So, 𝗖𝗥𝗘𝗔𝗧𝗑, salut, hola, ¿cómo estás? In Peru. And 𝗤𝗏𝗏, hi 𝗤𝗏𝗏, hello with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 exclamation marks. How wonderful. All right, so yeah, do say hello. Right, so I'm going to launch straight into it. I'm going to give you my first tip, and then I'll tell you a bit about the masterclass. Then I'll give you 3 more. I'll show you what I created earlier on today. Bien, merci. Ok, c'est bien. 𝗖𝗥𝗘𝗔𝗧𝗑 va bien. Salut. Well, c'est l'après-midi. It's the afternoon in Peru, I think. Okay, here's my first tip. And I won't show you the other tips, because for those you have to, the other 3, the other 6, because for those you have to watch the other videos. Should have been there, but you can. They're online. Okay, so here's the first tip on how things that come up for people to stop us from being as creative as we'd love to be. Fears, what's this going to be? Fears, fine. Fears, fine. So that is my first tip, if you like. Why am I saying that fear's fine? Well, a lot of us are nervous about creating stuff, about bringing something new into the world. one of the tips earlier was about comparisons, wasn't it? Not comparing ourselves to others, but of course we do. Well, fear is kind of linked to that, and we're worried about all sorts of things. Practically all of them are imagined. We're imagining some result of us putting ourselves out there and creating something original, which might possibly be a bit negative or scary. And I was talking to someone, actually, someone who has signed up for my masterclass, because I'm doing a masterclass, you know, and it's called the Infinite Creativity Now Masterclass. Let me just tell you the objective of it. The objective of it is, I'll show you very quickly, honestly, 10 seconds. So the objective of this masterclass is Infinite Creativity Now. Get your creative project done in 9 fun weeks, and it starts now. You can join now, and we're starting officially tomorrow. So you get a project out of your head at last and into the world to share and feel good about in 9 weeks. And at the same time, you're learning loads of stuff about creativity and productivity, actually producing your ideas. So that's that. So yeah, fear's fine. So I was talking to someone who signed up for my masterclass, and this person was hesitant. And this person said that they were, you know what, I'm gonna read what our little exchange. I won't tell you who it is. It doesn't matter. Nothing to worry about. But I won't tell you. So it says, I sent this person the first 2 videos that like this, and so there were 6 tips. And this person said, so this person has signed up, and says, got the first 6 tips. Just signed up, feeling a bit terrified, if that's possible, a bit terrified. Can you feel a bit terrified? But also excited, thank you. Terrified and excited. Isn't that funny? They're 2 extremes. One is kind of supposed to be negative and the other is supposed to be positive at the same time. Weird, isn't that? I said, so they say, feeling a bit terrified, if that is possible, but also excited, thank you. And I said, wonderful person. That's great. I'm delighted you're joining the adventure. Wonderful, you've got the 6 tips. Wonderful, you're signed up. Wonderful, you're feeling terrified. Wonderful, you're feeling excited. Those last 2, terrified and excited, are pretty much the flip side of each other. Terrified, excited. Feeling a bit terrified when starting something new isn't really being frightened that bad things will happen. It's more about being nervous that really amazing things will happen. Because it's not as though it's a life and death situation. If you paint something and you put it out there for people to see, the fear is that people will laugh at you because you're painting like a 3-year-old. Which would be my case if I tried to paint something realistic, and we don't want that. We don't like people to laugh at us. We have our, you know, we have to hold our head high and not be seen as ridiculous. There are standards to be met. But of course, you're not going to die if somebody sort of sniggers at your painting. So what's that about? You know, but if you succeeded. You want to, so you've got this burning ambition to be creative inside you, otherwise you wouldn't even be considering painting, let's say. And the feeling of creating something is almost overwhelming, the pleasure that it gives you. But there's this inbuilt fear because we have been learnt to fear things that we don't know about. So you don't know what's going to happen. I mean, if you go back to the old days, like let's say we're in a cave or something. We're in a cave and you know, really the old days, like thousands and thousands of years ago. You're in a cave and you hear a rustling outside in the bushes. You don't know what it is, but you know something might happen. You don't know what it is. It could be a wild animal comes out of the bush and jumps on you, a saber-toothed tiger, and eats you up. Now that's kind of a good idea to be worried about that. Or it could be a neighbor just coming through the bushes with a bunch of pies or something. I don't know if they had pies thousands of years ago. You know, a bunch of, I don't know, pig's trotters or anyway, you know, a pleasant thing. It might be that. But at the moment you hear the rustling outside the cave, what is the best thing to do? Worry about it or think it's going to be something good? Well, one of them will kill you, like the saber-toothed tiger, and the neighbor coming with the cakes won't. So it's probably best, when you don't know, to go for the scariest thing, just in case. Because, you know, if you died, it's a bit more serious than just not liking the cakes. And the thing is, that's what we do now. That's what we do. We worry now that it's with the unknown, like the rustling of the bush is like the standing up to speak in front of people, or the placing of the first brush strokes on the canvas. We don't know what the result's going to be, so automatically we go for the worst possible possibility. You know, we imagine it'll be a disaster and everyone will laugh at us for the rest of our lives. So, but that's not what it's about. That's not what it's about. Fear is fine, because fear can come in two ways. It can come because you're worried that something bad will happen, but these days it's nothing's bad going to happen with the sort of things we're talking about. But fear, nervousness, can also be because something amazing might happen, because it matters. Something is going to happen that matters, that could make you feel great and get rid of, you know, decades of conditioning about being crap at something, and also bring great pleasure to others. And that's incredibly scary in a way. It's exciting and scary, as my friend says here. So I'm saying fear's fine. Fear is natural. It's good, actually. It means you're alive. It means you're excited that something amazing may happen. Just imagine. So we don't have to think about fear as bad. Anyway, so there you go. Let me show you something that I created earlier. And so I wanted to do one last blast of marketing for my thing. I'm not particularly good at marketing, but I do like making memes. So I did them in a kind of advertising type of style. So at the bottom, in the bottom band, it says, you know, the details about the masterclass, which is starting now. You can sign up, pay what you can, so it's totally affordable for everyone. And then, but I hate doing anything that isn't creative. So I thought, okay, let's see if I can take my images of me, why not, for once, and my creative photographs, my perturbing portraits, and put some sort of slogan on. Now, the challenge with memes is, for me, the words have to be interesting and related to what you're trying to, the point you're trying to make, and they have to relate to the image. So it's a double thing. Like a little while ago, I did some for this online Zoom room, which is just open for people who want to talk, you know, like the Samaritan's line or something like that. And I took my images of Paris and I put slogans on which they've referred to the image, and they referred to this open room for being listened to. So I did this with this, you see. So I've got 9. I did 9. Isn't that a surprise? This one says, get crazily creative in amazing company. There's nothing clever with that. I just thought I'd put it there. The picture behind says born creative. It's an advert for booze, you know, Desperados. So I don't know how creative you are if you fill your head with booze, but there it was in the street, born creative. I'm having a bit of that. So get crazily creative. Which way did I go? Yeah. So this was the next one. Don't be selfish. Share your illusions. Now, all of this is to inspire you to get as creative as you'd love to be. Tell me if you like any of these. Get crazily creative in amazing company. That is because the people who have already booked on this masterclass are amazing. I know them all. They're fantastic. Almost all, not all of them. And the ones that I don't know are amazing. I check them out. Don't be selfish. Share your illusions. Isn't this wonderful? The idea that you're being selfish if you don't share your genius. We've all got so much to give. For goodness sake, don't hold it in. Please give pleasure to people who would like it and who maybe they themselves aren't, you know, they don't have that sort of urge to explore their genius, their creative genius. So why don't you? So I love this idea of it's selfish not to share. I've got Gal is saying, I truly love what you do, Sab. Creativity is who we are, but we have not embraced it as much. Yes, it is fulfilling to create something. I've come to the point, and I said this on one of my videos in the recent Creative Breakthrough Challenge. I invented this triangle. On each side there was a word, and there was an equals sign in the middle. And the words were life, fun, creativity. And I honestly think they're kind of the same, or they can be if you want them to be. You can see life as fun. You know, when you wake up in the morning, are you pleased you woke up or not? Well, you want to be pleased, don't you? So life is fun. It's good to be alive. Fun, creativity. When you create, it's the ultimate fun. You don't have to be smiling and laughing all the time, but it's the ultimate in losing yourself in the present moment. And life is creativity. We came from the ultimate creative act, I like to say. So what are we if not creativity? What are we if we're not creating our lives from instant to instant? And the next one is, are you a serious creator? This is where I'll probably see a spelling mistake and go, ah! Or Desmina will say, ha ha, spelling mistake. Are you a serious creator? You shouldn't be. So this is a nice turnaround, you see. Are you a serious creator? You just take that. It sounds like I'm saying that you should be. You should take creativity very seriously. But if you look at what I'm doing here, I'm sticking my tongue out at a piece of graffiti which is also sticking its tongue out, and we're touching tongues, and there's a heart behind, and it's kind of, you know, it's having fun creating. And well, I don't think creativity should be serious. I think it should be incredibly fun. And seriousness kills creativity. It doesn't mean you have to be joking around like a clown, but there's something. Seriousness implies following rules and restrictions, fitting yourself into a box, and that isn't what creativity is about. Creativity is the opposite of that. There's a free series of 9 creative tips that I did when you join a mailing list or something, and I called it thinking outside of the box. What box? Because even if you say we need to think outside of the box, you've still imagined a box. You know, just anyway, I think you get the point. So there you go. Are you a serious creator? Well, you shouldn't be. You know, the worst that can happen is you try to create something and you do create something and it isn't exactly what you thought it was going to be like. Well, wow, you know, big deal. For me, I won't go into one of my long rambles, but I just say that for me, trying something is success. I won't even say that not trying anything is failure, but it's not success. You see, if you just don't do anything, nothing happens. But as soon as you do something, you take action, this is success for me. It's by its very definition, you do something, well done, you've succeeded. And then who knows what might happen. So there's 6 more. All right, let me just flip over to my masterclass. Gal says, that's how my mind works too. Well, you're a creative person, Gal. And you create in different ways. I get confused actually, but I think you sort of dance and stuff, and I don't create in that way at all. You know, it really isn't my way of creating. But you create beauty when you move your, maybe, I'm sorry if you don't, but you know, we each have our own ways of creating, and it doesn't have to be, you know, it can be moving with your body, it can be singing. And Gal says, that sums it up. We are all creating at all times. So let me tell you about this. This is I'll just read this bit and then I'll go down to the structure of the masterclass. It's starting tomorrow. You can join now. You should join now because we've already started the warm-up activities. And there's an incredible offer. If you click on this green button, it says pay what you want, and you get to this page. And this page gives you a color to choose. And the colors are different levels of contribution. The point is I want everybody who wants to do this masterclass to do it. And you can choose your favorite color if you like, I don't mind, but the lowest level is extremely affordable, you know, for most people. So, and the highest level is actually below what I normally charge for this masterclass. The masterclass is definitely in the hundreds of euros, and I'm exceptionally doing this so that as many people, I want lots of people to do this. And I've got a very, very nice group who have signed up. So basically it's the blurb in red is, are your ideas amazing, but you struggle to finish anything? In fact, you often struggle to even start anything, and it's frustrating as heck. Join Dynamic Starter and Finisher, that's Sam Will, to get your creative project done in 9 fun weeks. So you actually make a kind of a pledge to yourself. You accept the mission. And if I can find the mission, here it is. So your mission when you come on this, you accept the mission when you come on the masterclass, is to become a creative and productive wizard as you define, develop and deliver a fantastic finished imaginative project of your choice in 9 weeks to your great satisfaction and your friends and colleagues' warm applause. In other words, you'll be pleased with it and other people will be delighted to see that you're finally getting your ideas out of your head and into the world. And this can be humble. Don't be, worried that you have to do an enormous project. You don't. And my example, I'll say it quickly today because I went into length yesterday. Say you're a poet, but you have trouble writing poems. You could choose to do 1 poem a week. That would be amazing if you never write poems, but you want to. That would be 9 poems by the end. 9 poems. That's really, really significant, 1 a week. But if you wanted, you could do 3 poems a week. That's doable. If I write a poem, I write it in about an hour or 2. So even that's doable. So it's up to you. You choose your commitment, and it doesn't even matter if you don't reach any given goal. Honestly, you cannot fail this masterclass. This masterclass is designed, I've got rid of the word failure from my vocabulary, more or less. And you don't fail the masterclass. You can't fail it. I'm with you until you finish. But the objective is to give you an objective, so it's not just like, you finish and you think nothing's happened. The objective is for you to finish with most of the others at 9 weeks with something you're really pleased with. So that's basically it. It's very powerful. It's wonderful. And you're learning. There are videos each week, and the videos go hand in hand with your project. So as you're, like, for example, let's have a look at the structure. If I click on program. So there are 5 modules, 1, 2, 3. I don't know why I'm counting. I think you know what the numbers 1 to 5 are. And there are 9 weeks. And the first module is 1 week. The second module is 2 weeks. Then there's a break week. I don't tell you that sometimes. There's a break week. It's so important. It's a catch-up week. It's a go deeper week. Or it's a do nothing at all week. Very important. The whole system is built around modern positive learning approaches. So there's a break week. Then the one in the middle, the big one, is the 3-week module. Then there's a break week. Then the module 4 is 2 weeks, and module 5 is 1 week. Module 5, we cover finishing a project, because you are finishing your project, and I cover all sorts of topics about finishing the project. It could be anything like having the confidence to show it to people. There's a phenomenon where you get scared at the end. Just before finishing, you get scared, and you don't finish it. How crazy is that? You're almost there. Yeah, and in the first module, we talk about starting projects. Starting projects is one of the hardest things to do. Starting a project that means something to you, because it's so emotional. It's so important to you. Everything about it is scary, seems scary, because your life seems to be on the line. As a creative person, when you create something, it's not just creating something, it's your heart. It's your entire, or maybe not to exaggerate too much, but when you put yourself into something, it becomes part of you, and it's important. It's more important than anyone else would know. So it's scary to start, it's scary to carry on, and it's scary to finish, but it's good scary. Like I said before, it's good scary because you're doing something that counts. Anyway, so there you go. There's 5 modules, wonderful stuff there, absolutely wonderful, and you can read about it. Right, let me give you another tip and see if I've got any other comments. I'm going to join your masterclass. You inspire a part of me that I feel calls me to make love with in this moment. I think I'll just read that again. You inspire a part of me that I feel calls me to make love with in this moment. Make love with this feeling that I inspire in her. Or just date my inner child and see what she can do. That sounds absolutely amazing, Gal. Absolutely amazing. I would love to have you with us. Oh, great. That's true. Dancing, writing, talking, and I've seen a part of my creativity being expressed in the kitchen lately. I was going to use that as an example, actually, when I was saying, if you create a cake, it's not necessarily your life is on the line when you give the cake to someone. Having said that, someone dear to me made a cake for me when I went round to see her. And she was embarrassed because it hadn't come out as she wanted. It was kind of gooey. And she'd used 𝗠𝗏𝗏, anyway, a special type of flour or something that was supposed to be good for you, and yet it actually made the thing like a sort of soggy, gluey mess. So And she felt bad. She'd wanted to please me, and she wasn't happy with the result. You know, big deal, it's a cake. But no, no, it's not. It's more than a cake. You know, it's like football. Football isn't as important as life. It's more important than that. There was that famous saying, you know, something like that. Anyway, so that would be fantastic, Gal. I am very happy to welcome you on the masterclass. It'll be fantastic, and even more so with you. Wow. All right, so I'm going to go back to another tip now. And the next one is, believe it or not, have, what's it going to be? Fun. I told you they're top level, they're high level tips. I tried to make them in 2 words, right? Fears, fine. Have fun. So what do I mean? Well, I simply mean that it's not a matter of life and death. When we decide to create something, are we doing it to hurt ourselves or to really have unpleasant evenings or weekends? No, I don't think so. I think when we decide to create something, we're doing it because that's what we do all the time. If we didn't have to work, let's say, we're doing it because it's our passion, because it's our pleasure. We want to spend time doing it. So why do people have such a problem creating stuff that they say they want to create? You know, all these books like Do the Work, The War of Art. Let me show you. I mean, check this out. Just check this out. Sorry if you're looking at my chest pretty unattractively there. You know, I mean, just turning pro doesn't sound much fun, doesn't it? This is about art. This is about being artistic and writing and painting. Nobody wants to read your shit. Do the work. The War of Art. 25 lessons I've learned about photography, no, about life. Like, why would you? Aren't you just having fun? No, apparently there are lessons to be learned. Art and fear. So there's this kind of feeling that, you know, doing what you say you want to do because you love it, actually, no, you need to buy this book, Art is War, or The War of Art. You know, don't think it's just fun. No. But I'm saying to you, yes, it is. Yes, it is. It is fun. And it doesn't matter if your brushstroke goes in the wrong way. You've just created a different painting, not a better or a worse one, a different one. And so remember, it's a game. It doesn't matter. It's no more important or less important than going to work or, you know, having a conversation with someone or buying a loaf of bread. It's fun. We're doing it because it's fun. Enjoy it. Enjoy the fact that you've actually got the time to create. Not everyone has. So, you know, I sometimes feel like saying to myself, don't be so stupid and selfish. You're actually luxury to sit down and put paint on canvas. You know, that's an incredible luxury in relation to what some people have. So all this sort of, you know, like middle class problems, this angst about, oh my God, I couldn't start, I didn't know, you know, come on, guys. So have fun, that's what I'm saying. Let me show you some more of my things that I did today in my creative day. So the next 3 of these are, I did these in about an hour, in case you're interested. My problem, now you see problem. Wow, did you spot that? Did you spot that? I was going to say my problem is that I have too many creative ideas. Problem? Hello? That's not a problem. Okay, ever created a cup of tea? I was going to say ever made a cup of tea, but I wanted to repeat the word created. Ever created a cup of tea? Then you're a creator. So many people don't think they are valid. They don't think they're legitimate as creators because they haven't gone to such and such a school, got such and such a diploma, spent so many years working for some other master under them, blah, blah, blah. I don't hold with any of it, none of it. I have never had an art lesson in my life. I've never had a poetry lesson, a writing lesson, except at school, you know. Certainly haven't had a painting lesson. Self-taught myself photography decades ago. So we are creative. We don't have a choice. And I said this a lot in my the videos on the in the challenge that I just did. By the way, the videos, the 5 videos for the challenge that I did, the Creative Breakthrough Challenge, will disappear, but they will be part of the masterclass. In fact, it's part of the warm-up for the masterclass. It's a bonus for the masterclass. You have those videos. They're very, very powerful, actually. I realized afterwards that I actually put far more into them than I was planning to. Those 5 videos are actually really, really good, I think. Really good. I think I said that, didn't I? Okay, so ever created a cup of tea? Then you are creative, you know, and let's hear no more about it. Guess what? Your genius zone is you. You know, we have this big thing about, you know, find your genius zone. Well, there's something inside you, and it's the essence of who you are. It's what you'd do if you didn't have to do anything else. It's what comes out when you're not thinking about what's coming out. It's what happens when you're doing something else. I'm trying to work out what I actually meant when I wrote this, actually. It's that we're fundamentally geniuses. Genii? We're fundamentally geniuses. We're geniuses at living. We're geniuses at doing anything we put our hand to. We are, this comes to comparing ourselves as well. We are the absolute world expert on being us. Nobody comes close to being as good at being Sab as I do. And nobody comes nowhere close, but nowhere close as being as good at being Gal as Gal does, you know, or 𝗤𝗏𝗘. We are the world expert on us. Other people, they're okay, you know, being them, but they're not us. No way. No one could be me as good as me, as good at being me as me. And the same goes for you, of course. And we forget that. We forget that. So I think there's one more here. Yeah. Invisible forces link us all. Woohoo! Create your own. You know, the reason you're watching this is I created some invisible link between me and you, which made you be watching this. I created it. I'm not going to be modest. I did something happened. Probably a load of other stuff as well happened that brought us together. And it's so easy to do. You can do it. You could do it by walking down the street and buying a loaf of bread. You've created a link between you and the baker or the person selling it, which didn't exist before. You've shared a moment together. You've come close to another human, and you've exchanged value, but you've also probably exchanged a smile or a pleasantry, or, you know, whatever. You create that. We create that all day. We create this all the time, but a lot of us don't. We don't do that enough, I think. So, you know, creativity is not just doing a picture or writing a poem. It permeates our entire lives. Oh yes, Sab is Sab, and that's it. Yeah, thank God. Yeah, I am Sab, and Gal is Gal, and 𝗤𝗏𝗃 is 𝗤𝗏𝗃, and 𝗤𝗏𝗃 is 𝗤𝗏𝗃, and everybody else is everybody else, and that's the way it should be. So let me give you finish on the masterclass. Then I'll give you another tip. So I'm not sure. Honestly, just go to the page and check it out. It's an interesting read. You see, I made it colourful. I like colours. Did you know that? It's bonuses. Let me just. There's testimonials from other masterclasses. They're not up to date, but they're still pretty valid. And this is interesting. Let's destroy some false beliefs, such as to be creative and productive, you need a diploma. No. You need years of experience. No. You need expensive materials. No. You need to work in the arts or media. No. You need the blood of Leonardo da Vinci running through your veins. No, you don't. You don't. And the truth is far more exciting. You need an openness to new possibilities and a lively imagination. You need the everyday tools that you have in your home. You don't need expensive stuff. I don't have an internet connection. My basic one has broken down. I found another one. You know, my microphone doesn't work because I have to plug something else in. I'm using another microphone. It's okay. And you need fundamentally a desire to learn basic and advanced methods through exciting, fun approach. In other words, on the masterclass, you're open to new stuff. Otherwise, why go on the masterclass? And this says it's absolutely for you if, and you read through that list, you might see yourself there, and it's not for you if. So check those out. And I will now go over to my next tip. By the way, if you are thinking of creating a project, what would it be? Can anyone give me an idea? imagine you've got 9 weeks, for example, and you would create something. You'd like to do a project. Would it be a little collection of poems? Would it be a set of new recipes? Maybe create some new dance moves with videos to go with it? Now, it's something that you can do in 9 weeks, right? Because I want you to finish something you're pleased with in 9 weeks. Would it be a short story, a collection of short stories? Could you do one a week? Would it be... I live in a place which is sort of half countryside, half towards the town, and you go out of the town a little bit and you've got walks. I could imagine creating a little booklet of walks around my area with little points of interest on each walk. Maybe I could do 9 of those, 3 of those over the 9 weeks, like 3 weeks to really do one really well and do the 3 of them, or maybe 9 short ones, you know, with points of interest. By the way, I'm going to do this masterclass with you. I'm not only running it, as it were, I'm going to do it. I've got a project and I will be doing it with you. So just thought I'd let you know. So if I'm behind, you can kick my butt. Right, here's the next one. And it's just, can you guess what it is? This was the first one. Do you remember the first one? Just start. And this one, number 9 is just finish. And as I was saying to you, so many of us, when we're creating something, we don't finish it. We move on to something else before we finish. And it's annoying. It's not satisfying at all. It's frustrating. It makes us feel bad. Finishing makes us feel wonderful. We are programmed to love completion, to love finishing, closing the circle, buckling the belt. And you know, we move in cycles, don't we? We're used to cycles. We have the cycle of day and night. We have the cycle of the Earth going around the sun once a year. We have monthly cycles for ladies, you know, with the possibility of making babies. We have all these things, and we want this completeness, and so often we don't finish, and it's not a good feeling. So finishing is so important. It's tough, it's not easy for many reasons. So that's why this masterclass is designed to help you finish stuff. I want you to be so excited about finishing that you might have a little hesitation, a little bit of, you know, ups and downs. Of course you do. That's part of the creative process. But you'll have the whole team, the whole group will be waiting for you to finish and encouraging you. We work together. We have a Zoom call on Saturdays. And after the week's videos and your progress, you know, we discuss it together. You have smaller little groups, if you like, to encourage each other, sort of on the sidelines. So the whole point is to get you so excited about getting to mission accomplished that you do. And once you've done it once, you know you can do it again. Not only will you have the techniques, a process to go through if you wish. And I know that creative people don't necessarily like processes, but you adapt it, obviously. I hate being told what to do. I'll do the opposite. But at least I've got ideas to pick from, you know, like a toolbox. Not only will you have all of the ways of moving through a project, you will have the confidence and satisfaction of having finished a project. And I know how important that is. I know that I've got 2 examples of that. One is I managed to lose a few kilos once. And I never thought I could, and I managed to do it. And that made me think I could do anything in the world. It really did. Just because I had that one example. Before I had any example, I didn't have a clue, and therefore I had no confidence whatsoever that I could actually do something like that. Now I know I can. Now it's more a question of, do I want to? And my other example is actually giving up drinking. I used to drink far too much for a long time. And it's an incredibly vicious, addictive drug. And I gave it up 5 years ago. And having my completion, my finishing, was finishing my project of drinking the world dry. You know, all the oceans, the seas, the lakes, and the rivers. I was going for it. And when I finished that project, I felt so good that I can now use that as an example. To know that, you know, I can. So basically, if you have an example, it's more powerful than just having finished a book, say. And I'll show you a couple more of these things. We are irreplaceable. Yeah, we are unique. There's no point comparing ourselves to anyone. You know, it's an absolute waste of time. I am in. Yay me! Oh, great! I'm not watching, so thanks. Well done. I'm so happy you're here, Gal. Love to get to know you better. And so let me show you another of the last ones of this little mini project I did this afternoon. Okay, so here, people's opinions tell you about them, not you. Hang on, I'll say that slowly. I even confused myself. People's opinions, like someone's opinion of me, tells me more about them than about me. Someone gives me their opinion on me, it tells me more about them than about me. In fact, it tells me nothing about me, honestly. Some of it might be, well, true by whose standards? You don't know, do you? Because everybody has a different point of view. It's like music, you know, you listen to this song, one person will like it, someone will hate it. Who's right? Yes, they are both. So people's opinions, we worry an awful lot about people's opinions. And in one of the videos for the Creative Breakthrough Challenge, I did a big section on people's opinions. It's very powerful. You should watch it. I have a very low opinion of other people's opinions, and you can take my opinion or you can leave it on that. Your fear is telling you something. I talked about fear, do you remember? Fear's fine. Your fear is telling you something. And what it's telling you is that what you're doing matters. It's important to you. And that's all it has to be important to you. It's important to you, and you want it to be good. You want it to succeed. You don't want, I'm not going to use the F word. When it's important, that means it's good. So fear comes from it being important to you. And it's good to work on important things, isn't it? You know, if you're watching Netflix, you're not scared that you watch Netflix in the wrong way, really, are you? Or that you eat a pizza in the wrong way. But you might be concerned that you don't finish the cake that you're cooking for someone that is close to you in the right way, or that you don't finish the painting doesn't please the person you're painting it for, you know? So when you're worried about something, it's because you care deeply. And that's wonderful. That's a wonderful way to live. But it's hard too. Sometimes it hurts. But how do you want to live your life? Sort of like this, or like this. Whoa, boom, whoa, boom. You know. And no, sorry, I love it so true. Okay, and the last one, I wanted to do this. This is the last one. The power is in your hands. Use it wisely. These things kind of come to me, you know, they're worth what they're worth. I churned these out just now, and it's fun, you know. The power is in your hands. Use it wisely. What was I trying to say there? The power to create, it's up to you. Anyone can do it. Not everyone does. We're all creating every day, but I'm talking about the pure satisfaction that comes from deciding to create something beautiful or interesting, something that's going to impact someone else when they see it. Because for me, on my little triangle, I had life, fun, and creativity. I could add a few more, like impact or emotion. Someone had a really good one. What was it? Energy. Life, energy, fun, creativity, impacting others, emotion. For me, creating something, the thing you create is a bridge. It's a bridge between you, who has brought it into being from nothing, and the person who is going to experience it when it leaves you. So creativity isn't a thing, you know. Making a cake is a thing, painting a painting is a thing, writing a poem is a thing. Creativity isn't a thing, really, or it's much more abstract than those examples I gave. So the poem that you write is a bridge. It's a half-built bridge. It comes from me. When I finish the poem, it's a half-built bridge, and the bridge is finished when the poem lands in somebody else's eyes or ears, and heart, let's say. Ideally heart. I just thought of another part of the body that would be a much less pleasant place for my poem to land or to come out of. So yeah, ideally I'm just looking for emotion. I'm looking for a reaction from someone who experiences something I've created. So I guess like I make the bridge, I look across the bridge, and I smile, and I want to wave back. That's what I want, a wave back across the bridge. And it's up to us to do it, and that's what I want to encourage. It's kind of my mission, is to do that. By the way, I've got a bonus tip before we finish. How are we doing? Well, thanks for watching, everyone. Really nice of you to be watching. Have you got anything out of this? Is there a takeaway that you liked from what I've been talking about so far? I don't think I've got anything else to say about the masterclass. You either know that you want to do it or you don't. And so read that page. When you click on any of these buttons here, pay what you can, you go to this. And this is an honor system. It's basically, I don't mind what you pay, and I don't remember what you pay. I mean, you're investing in yourself, remember. I don't mind what you invest. All I want is for you to do the program rather than not do it. It's like creating art. I don't care if you like what I do or you don't like it. I just don't want you to be, what's the word? Untouched. That isn't the word. Indifferent. Indifference is my definition of failure. Loving it is my definition of success, and hating it is my definition of success, because at least it's caused a reaction. So for people creating something artistic, I feel that indifference is the biggest. It's not even a failure, because everybody has the right to like stuff or not like it or feel indifferent. Of course they have, but you know what I'm saying. So there you go. I don't mind. Choose your favorite color if you like. Choose. The program is genuinely pretty amazing. You know, it's a 9-week. It's amazing. So these are really, really great, what I'm offering here, if the program is right for you. So do it, and join a wonderful group of people. And I'll finish off with my last. Is there anything else I wanted to show you? No, I don't think so. Well, this is the group. There's a beautiful website where the videos are stored and you get points and rewards. It's great. This is a Facebook group, which is lovely as well. We show our creations sometimes, or how we're making progress. We use Zoom. We have pods to talk together in small groups, 2 or 3. And I just want to finish by my last bonus tip. Here it is. And my bonus tip is, I've just got a few comments. Facebook user says, thanks, Sab. Takeaway. Fear tells you it matters to you. Great, great. I can't see who you are, unfortunately, Facebook user. You need to go to StreamYard.com/Facebook and accept. StreamYard.com/Facebook to accept, and then I can see who you are. And Thomas, hello Thomas, doing the masterclass. Building bridges, stay connected. And then there were we. That's good. And then there were we. That's a reference to me putting a quote from a Genesis thing, as Thomas did today, in the group. When there were 9 of us, I put a modified thing. I wonder if I can find it. I put a modified Genesis cover. What's going on? Don't even know where it is. Saying, and then we were 9, because there's a Genesis album called And Then We Were 3. You can't even see what I'm doing. There we go. There's already some rich content going on in the Facebook group, by the way. So it's and then we were 9. So that was a reference to that. And then we were we. Looking across the bridge, there was me, there was you. I built the bridge, which is my creation. I offered it to you, and then we were we. Expected none and less, are we? And then we are we. Okay. I will see you in the masterclass, Paris. I love your website too, colourful. Thank you. And Despina says, I can't wait to start tomorrow. Well, you can start today, Despina. You know, there's plenty to do, if you haven't noticed. I know you have. I know you're struggling to find a muse. You don't have to. Here's mine. And my last tip is this. Love what? My last tip is love problems. Love problems. And what do I mean by love problems? Well, the funny thing is, problems and solutions go together. And you can't really have one without the other. If there's a problem, there's a way of solving it. Otherwise, there wouldn't really be a problem without a solution. And without problems, we wouldn't find solutions. In other words, we wouldn't really do anything worthwhile. A solution is a new way of doing something, which makes things better. So if you imagine, if we didn't have problems, we wouldn't ever need to do anything in a new way or a better way. Boring. So thank goodness for problems. And the word problem has a bad reputation, don't you think? Sounds bad. Oh my God, I've got so many problems. Do you know that expression? Don't bring me your problems, bring me your solutions. But we don't have to look on problems as bad, because if you think about a painter or a poet, a painter has a problem every time they put paint on their brush. What the hell am I going to do with it? You know, am I going to put it here, 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 here? Am I going to go like that? Am I going to go like that? Am I going to go bloop, bloop, bloop like that? It's a problem. Every single brush stroke is a potential problem, and it needs a solution. Otherwise, you wouldn't do anything. And you find a solution. Even let's say you're trying to match colors or mix colors. Let's take an example. Say, for example, I'm someone who just buys, I don't really mix colors. I just buy lots and lots of tubes of paint, of lots of ready-made different shades of green, for example. So, you know, you could say I'm not a real painter. You could say whatever you like. It doesn't matter what you say. But anyway, that's what I do. I mean that in a pleasant way. You know, it doesn't matter what anyone else says about you. That's just a fundamental thing in art, in creativity. So anyway, that's what I do most of the time. Imagine you desperately needed green and you've run out of green paint. Oh my God, what am I going to do? It's a problem, and it has to be finished tomorrow. But you remember this thing from your old school days. You know, hang on a second, can't you mix a couple of paints together? What is it? Red and blue? No, green, red. No, yellow and blue. That's it. I could mix yellow and blue together to get a green. Well, I'll give it a go. I haven't done it before. Let's try. So you mix your blue and your green and your yellow, and you discover that blue absolutely smothers yellow. The minute you put a tiny bit of blue into yellow, bam, the whole thing goes green. And and you learn that you can also get different shades of green by putting different amounts. And you actually discover some shades of green which you didn't have in your ready bought tubes. Oh, that's interesting. I'm getting stuff here and it's actually, you know what, it's actually quite fun to mix. Just splodging the ready-made colours, that wasn't much fun. This is really cool. I love the way the blue, you put a tiny bit of blue into the yellow and you mix it slowly, and you can see the whirls going slowly, becoming greener and greener and greener. It's so amazing. I might leave it like that with just some whirls of green between the blue and the yellow. And all of this is because you had the problem that you ran out of a green tube of paint. You could also think of a poet. I've got Thomas is saying, a problem or possibilities? Exactly. They both begin with P though. What about a poet? Anyone who writes, but let's take a poet. I've written hundreds of poems in my life. Let's say, I don't know, let's say 500. And they're all full of words, strangely enough. And when you're writing a poem, you've got a load of problems. You know, it depends on what sort of poetry you're writing, you know, what you're doing. But let's say you want the number of syllables in the sentence to be a certain number, the right number. Okay, well, that's a problem. You've got to make sure that the number of syllables are the right number in each line. And then you've got maybe you want some alliteration. You want a couple of words to begin with the same letter, but you can't find a good word with the same letter as that word there, and you'd love to. That's a problem. You've got to look for the word. Maybe you want, well, of course, rhymes. It's obvious, isn't it? A lot of poetry rhymes. Some people think rhyming is poetry. You've got to find words that rhyme. And of course, the words have to make sense. Like, the story of the poem, whatever it is, has to be respected. You have to progress the story from the beginning through the middle to the end, if it's that sort of poem, whilst choosing cool words that rhyme, that scan nicely. They have, maybe there are some internal rhymes, maybe there's some beautiful rhythms, there's some nice alliteration, there's some nice liaisons between words. It's got to sound beautiful. Thomas did, no, it wasn't Thomas, it was someone who's coming on the masterclass, and I heard him reading something. I wrote it down. Can I see it? Maybe I can find it. It's a beautiful line. Beautiful line. Oh, I think I don't know where I wrote it. Anyway, it was a beautiful line. And I thought, wonderful, wonderful. And that takes time to craft something that, out of this whole text that he read, that was the line that grabbed me. And I said, I love that. And he said, that's funny. It's my favorite line too. That's how powerful something can be. But it takes time. It's not easy. So these are problems. You know, let's say I've done 500 poems in my life. Let's say every poem had approximately 10 problems or 10 challenges. So that's like 10 times 500, 5,000 problems. I've had 5,000 problems in my poetry writing career. That sounds kind of tough, doesn't it? But it's not a problem, it's a pleasure, because that's part of the game, struggling. And you know the satisfaction when you find, at last, you find the right word, begins with the right letter, has the right rhyme, has the right number of syllables, has the right pronunciation, and has the right meaning for your poem. Wow, that is like, hallelujah. Oh, yes, yes, yes. You know, you're like, oh, yes, I found it. It's so cool. And that's worth the angst of looking for the damn word. Sometimes you have to leave it, go away and wait for the universe to give it to you. Sometimes that is what happens. Have you noticed? It's a professional technique, folks. Forget about it and go and do something else. Go and have a crap or have something to eat. And in the middle of your sandwich, bam, oh God, yeah, that's the word I had on the tip of my tongue. So all of that was to say, love your problems, love them. Without problems, you wouldn't be able to create anything at all. And you don't have to think of problems as negative. Think of them as challenges. Think of them as part of the game which we are having fun, and we have the luxury to be having fun creating stuff. So come on my masterclass, it'll be amazing. You are amazing. It's only as good as the people on it. And that's it. It's an hour. I've been blabbing on for an hour. How about that? What else we got? Despina. Oh, you found it. Well done. While I may sound like a man gone mad to most, this is what I'm looking for. While I may sound like a man gone mad to most. That is so cool. It was in the context of his thing. But when he came out with that, while I may sound like a man gone mad to most. Beautiful, beautiful. I'm going to do a writing masterclass in September. And if I saw that, you know, I'd grab it. I'll grab it and use it as an example, if that's okay with you. Damn it, what's his name? Can't remember. What's his name? Rob from Ireland. Fantastic this is. Fantastically creative guy. Don't know him. Comes out with lines like, while I may sound like a man gone mad to most, my kind of guy. My kind of guy. When I translate, you're going to give us too much information here? When I translate, I go to the bathroom. You're going to give us any more information? And the right word comes there. You keep all the best words in the bathroom. That's a funny place to keep them, isn't it? Do you have this on your personal profile so that I can share your offer? Yes. This is my personal profile, gal. This is facebook.com/sabparis, and basically every single post has a link. You see this post here? You click there and it goes to the offer. So please invite your friends, everybody. Everybody, if you all invited a friend, wouldn't that be cool? I'm going to ask everyone to invite a friend if they can. I know Despina already has, and some of you already have. The image is coming up in a second. Yeah, that'd be great. Bring a friend. Bring a friend. You know, the more the merrier. You can't lose. You can only gain by bringing a friend. So that's that. If you click on anything, and then I've got 𝗤𝗓𝗓 saying, "Beautiful line. I love it too." Yeah. I mean, we have to be a bit mad, don't we? Madness. Well, I may sound like a man gone mad to most. And mad is just a what's your definition of mad? They say that there's a thin line between madness and genius. Beautiful line. I love it too. Rob, you're a star, my man. Yeah, I'm looking forward to getting to know Rob because he sounds like an interesting character. So that's it. The end. Go away and come back another day, ready for the masterclass. This is where you go, infinitecreativitynow.com. Any more? Anything else to say? We're on an hour. That was good. Lasted an hour. I've given you my 4 tips. If you want the others, you have to look at the other videos. Fear's fine. Have fun. Or why do it? Just finish. And love problems. So I have now created 3 days in a row. I've created now 3 videos with 3 tips which came out of nowhere. I don't know where they came from. They just came. And that's exactly what is open to you as well. When you let the floodgates open, all you have to do is be knocking at the door. So when the door opens, you can go through it or see what comes through it. But if you're not standing at the door, then when it opens, you won't even know that it opened. So you need to be standing at the door for when it opens, because it will open. It always opens, but you just don't know when it's going to open. Good night. Good night. Thanks for watching, everybody. Really appreciate it. Of course, this is nothing without sharing. Sharing is what makes it all worthwhile. My creativity cycle says creativity is a third of a cycle. You can start anywhere, and it goes create, share, learn, create, share, learn, create, share. And when you create something, what do you do afterwards? Well, you can keep it to yourself if you want, but personally I share it. I share it with someone. And then they learn from what they're seeing, and they get an idea maybe, and they are inspired to create. And then they share it with someone else, which might inspire them. And when we share something with someone, we learn from their reaction, and that helps us create something differently next time. So it's not a thing you do on your own. It's a thing you do in good company, which is why I do what I do. That's it. Thanks, everyone. Can't wait to see you again soon, and a few of you on the masterclass starting now. 𝗤𝗓, I'll get you into the group right now, and you can see the exercises that you can do straight away. Okay, bye everybody. Thanks for being part of my creative universe and for letting me be part of yours.